Every episode of Bluey is fun, but there are lots of small details that make it even better. Join us as we discover some fun things you might not have seen before. Like in several instances, we've seen the healers doing their laundry. But the question is, why do they need to do laundry despite not wearing clothes most of the time? Seriously, this mystery has been bugging me. Do you guys have any explanation for this? If you do then, comment down below. Now this next detail is really awesome. Did you know there's a reference to Bluey in an episode of The Simpsons? In one of the episodes released in 2021, we can see Homer trying to enter Moe's Tavern as usual, one of his favorite places, and we can see Maui and Ralph at the door checking the entry. Then we see Homer claiming to Maleficent that he's also a big Disney star, and also, we can notice the bouncer holding a tablet with a list of authorized people to enter the party, and among the guests, we can see Bluey's name, alongside several other characters from the company, like Pinocchio, Luca, and Thanos. This is definitely an amazing reference to Bluey that practically nobody had noticed. Now this next detail is really cool. As we all know, right now Bluey is probably the best animated show in the world. And we have to thank the hard-working animators for it, because it takes a whopping 5 months to create a single episode of Bluey. Yes, you heard it right. 5 months to create a single episode. But the production overlaps, so that several episodes are worked on at the same time. And just like the animators, we also work hard to find these hidden details for you all. So, a like on this video would be greatly appreciated. Another tiny detail involves something no one probably noticed. So, one of the photos of Bluey and Bingo in their room has changed slightly over time. Apparently, they aren't different photos, but it seems someone changed the content of the picture itself. For example, when we watch the episode Fruit Bat, we see that in the photo, the two sisters are together, and Bluey has one eye closed, winking, and her tongue out. But as we move forward in the episodes and we see the same photo again, we notice a slight change. Now, Bluey has both eyes open, just smiling with no tongue out, but the pose remains basically the same. This indicates that there was just a small change that almost no one noticed until now. As we all know, the main protagonist of the show is Bluey, but did you know that there are 2 episodes where Bluey did not appear at all? The first one is episode Turtle Boy. This episode is all about Bingo and Bandit. Here, Bingo goes to play in the park with Bandit, where she finds a toy turtle and spends the entire day playing with it. But we do see Bluey in a photograph, and also, she's mentioned a couple of times in the episode. But the episode where Bluey neither appears and nor mentioned is Slide. This episode is all about Bingo and Lila. Here, they make their own water slide and play with it all day. As we know, any event that occurs in one episode will have some sort of impact in the next episode. The best example of this is the episode Onesies and Tradies. In the episode Onesies, when Brandy visits the healer house, Bingo becomes a cheetah and attacks everyone. While Bingo is chasing them, she accidentally hits the mailbox, and the mailbox gets slightly crooked. And in the episode Tradies, when Sparky and Chippy come to build the pond in the healer house, Sparky repairs the crooked mailbox. This shows how 2 episodes in Bluey are connected. Now this next one is more of a fact. Did you know, in Australia the premiere viewership of the episode The Sign was roughly 2 million. This is more than double the viewing figures of the second highest rated episode Easter. For wider context, the population of Australia is 26 million, meaning about 10% of Australians saw the premiere of The Sign on airing. That's why Bluey is the best show ever. As we discussed in previous video, how the long dog sometimes is connected to the plot of the episode. And in the episode Surprise, a long dog can be seen next to the tablet in the flash forward scene, looking all robotic, as if a futuristic design. And talking about the flash forward scene in the same episode, we notice several small details. Like the back garden trees of the healers, the poinciana and palm tree are taller than what they are currently, and the transmission tower in the background has been replaced with wind turbines, while new developments have sprung up. This includes some of the neighbors' houses, which have been redeveloped to include taller stories. And also, drones can be seen everywhere around the neighborhood. And the main detail is, the healers now have a third bin with a blue lid. So cool, isn't it? As we know by now, Bluey's episodes are totally interconnected with each other, and this is demonstrated through small details that we see throughout the series. One proof of this is what we find under the couch cushion in the episode Cubby. When Bingo grabs the pillow where Bandit is sitting, we find something underneath, the yes and no keychain, which is exactly the same remote that Bingo got in the dance mode episode, where she chose the moments when her parents should dance and embarrass themselves. At this moment, when the entire Healer family starts dancing, because Bingo commanded, right at that moment when the busker is playing his music, if we look at the hat where people put their contributions, guess what's in the hat? The same $5 bill that Bluey herself had donated to the busker in the episode Market. But the most intriguing detail of all of this is that we see the busker himself using this same bill in the episode Quiet Game to buy ice cream, which shows that the bill went around and ended up coming back to him once again. This is definitely one of the coolest details in the Bluey series. In the episode Quiet Game, when Bluey, Bingo, and Bandit are going to the store to buy a present for Muffin, we can notice Cornelius walking in the background. And he's not alone. We can also see a girl alongside him. They are most likely going on a date. But the funny part is, we see the same girl in the episode Dance Mode, but she was in the company of another sunglass-wearing dog. Since this happened earlier, it may indicate that she, at the time, was dating someone else, and perhaps she started dating Cornelius after that, which seems like it didn't work out very well, as later we see poor Cornelius looking like he's been abandoned under a tree in the park, totally alone. But now he's very happy, as he's with the terrier's mom. Moving on, in the episode Fancy Restaurant, Bingo and Bluey want to see Mum and Dad's Moochie kiss, so they set up a romantic evening for two at their fancy restaurant. To try and set the mood, Bluey and Bingo create a pretend fancy restaurant, and as usual, Chili and Bandit play along. As Bandit declares this restaurant to be the fanciest in town, a set of sharp eyes will reveal that even the lights hilariously disagree. Just as he finishes his sentence, one of the bulbs in the string lights behind him flickers and burns out. Another follows suit a bit later in the episode. This basically indicates that the light was of low quality. Most of us should have experienced this with Christmas lights. If we buy cheap Christmas lights, some of the bulbs on the string stop working, and it seems like the fanciest restaurant in town might be in need of some repairs. Everyone who watches Bluey knows the super cool way the friendship between Bingo and Lila started in the kindergarten classroom, and we also see that the two will be friends for the rest of their lives. Now, practically no one noticed one of the proofs of the sincere friendship between these two. In the episode Pass the Parcel, when Bingo found out that Lucky's dad had changed the rules of the game to make it more realistic, she runs into Chili's arms crying. At the same time, Lila is so sad for what her friend is feeling, and we can also see tears in her eyes because Bingo was also crying. Now this is what we call a true friendship. So these were some small details in Bluey that you probably didn't notice. And if you think we did a good job by finding these details, leave a like on this video. And as always, we'll see you all in the next video.